Predator Badlands is the newest entry in the Predator franchise, which has been on and off for a while now. I mean, the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger was a classic, obviously, with a bunch of quotable lines and a really good story. The second one, in a very unpopular opinion, was better than the first one. And then there was the whole Alien vs. Predator movies, which started to make the franchise go downwards. I like the first one, and I like the creature designs of the second one, but that cinematography of the second one is just... I wish it was better, especially with the greatest xenomorph ever made in there. And then Predators was worse than all the other ones beforehand. Still, some amazing stuff in there. It's just... it kept going downhill. And then, whatever that The Predator movie was... I mean, it's entertaining, but it's a bad film. And then, the franchise kind of went into hibernation. It was basically dead. Until Disney bought the rights to Fox. They bought Fox in total, and then it resurrected Predator. Which brings us to what we're talking about today, actually. Which is Predator Badlands. Which is technically the end of a trilogy of Predator movies. Because Dan Trachtenberg, however you say his last name, the director, he made the last two Predator movies, which were also amazing. Oops, just spoiled my review. Prey and Killer Killers, both amazing films, and he made Predator Badlands. So he made a movie where the Predator is the main character. And without saying any spoilers, this movie is absolutely fantastic. I know there's a lot of people saying online, oh, it's woke. It's not woke. Most movies are not woke. It's really annoying because people will complain when they... I don't think they even know what they're complaining about. But that's beside the point. It is an action-packed adventure from beginning to end with twists and stuff like movies should have. There's a little animal character, like how the last Jurassic Park movie had the little animal, which was extremely disappointing in my opinion. And how there's a baby Yoda. Oh yeah, I should have said that in the beginning. This movie has a baby Yoda, but it is the best use of a baby Yoda yet. Okay, I was a little disappointed with the use of Predators, because, don't get me wrong, I love this movie, and if they're making a sequel, they're probably going to go into this more, but the Predator in the movie didn't use Predator weapons or whatnot, which, go watch the movie, you'll find out why. It's just a really good movie. I loved it, and I think it might be the best Predator movie yet. It is not as much of a horror film as the previous ones, which is not that big of a deal to me, because it's Predator, you want to see gore, and there is gore in the movie, it's just not human gore, which, that doesn't really bug me that much. I mean, gore is always cool to see, but it's never a necessity for me. You know, really, besides the whole Predator not using Predator gear, the only downside to this movie would have to be the design of the main Predator deck, and I know people were trashing his design the entire time. The only thing I have a problem with is they gave him hair on the top of his head, which still just looks weird to me, because Predators have never had that. I know they want to make a Predator more uniquely designed, but I feel like they could have just done away with that and it still looked good and different than the other ones. Yeah, that's about all I can say without giving spoilers, so go watch the movie. But before you watch the movie, subscribe to me. Yeah, so smooth. I'm the best. Okay, spoiler review time. The whole purpose of this movie is to show a new perspective to the Predator franchise, specifically from the Predator itself, which I think is a genius idea. Because you're always interested in what the Predator does, like what kind of society they have or whatnot. Because they are an intelligent alien, unlike the Xenomorph. They have societies. There's other Predators out there, and we barely ever get to see how that actually works in films. In games and comics, that's different, but in films, we never get to see that. And this movie is showing us a little bit of that. The main character, Predator, Deck, is the runt of his clan, and he has to prove himself, kind of. I mean, you've seen the movies if you're watching this part, so you know what I'm talking about, because his brother gets killed off, and he's like, no! And he tries to go kill an unkillable beast to prove himself worthy, and it's really cool, because I wish he had Predator gear, because when he crash lands on the most dangerous planet in the universe, all of his gear gets broken, and he only has, like, his plasma sword or whatever that's called in the movie, and a little throwy knife thingy that comes out of his gauntlet. That's the only two Predator things he has. And I know, at the very end, the coolest thing that ever could have done happened, where Deck used the environment and nature to build his own Predator gear, even had like a little slime guy that spits out acid as his plasma cannon, and that was awesome. I love that part, but I really wish we could see like Deck with, not with the cloaking device, because that was the whole point of him going on his first hunt, but like with his wrist gauntlet, blades things, killing things. He just had sword, and did he have a bow and arrow? I think he had a bow and arrow at one point. But yeah, I just wish we saw more of the Predator equipment in the movie. We got barely any of that, and I would love to see that more in the future. Besides that, Deck was an amazing character to follow. Not only, like, he's the runt, and he is younger than other Predators, and he's learning a lot more, and some people may be mad about this and calling it woke because of this whole part right here, but he is becoming a different kind of Predator from all the other Predators. Or should I be saying Yacha? I'll say Yacha. He's becoming a different Yacha from all the other Yachas. Because they're all like, the hunt is the only thing that matters. Bonds between other creatures and other Yachas don't matter. The only thing that matters is the hunt. We kill the weak, and we keep on growing stronger. And throughout the movie, Deck with, oh god, what's her character's name? It's the robot lady. Thea. Throughout the movie, Deck and the android, like in the Alien franchise, because it's connected, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Deck and Thea, Thea saves him from the big bird thing, and she has no legs, but Thea teaches Deck that being, not emotional, but being, like, connected with others is a good thing and is a strength, unlike what all the other Yacha believe. And having bonds between people and creatures is actually strong. And I think that's why people are calling it woke, because Deck is not someone who wants to be a loner and kill the weakest Predator because they're weak. That's actually incredibly dumb, because if they had kids, like the people calling this woke, if they had kids and one of them was a runt, would they murder the runt? Because that's the whole point of this movie, is Deck learning that that is not the way things should be. I think that's why they're calling it woke, and it's just a very dumb argument. But yeah, Thea is also a really good character. I know people are saying, oh, she's the best. It's not android, it's a synthetic. She's the best synthetic we've ever seen throughout the Alien vs. Predator franchise, and she is a good character, don't get me wrong, but I really like the synthetic from the Alien Earth series, the one with the white hair. I don't remember his name, but I think either him or David from from Prometheus and Alien Confident, whatever. Those two are my favorites. Also, the one from Alien Romulus was really good. But yeah, she is a really cool character. All the action scenes in this movie are amazing, from the very opening to the very end. But before we get into the action scenes, I do want to talk about the little Baby Yoda of this movie. They call it Buddy in the movie, and the whole twist with that is that it was actually the baby of the strongest animal on that planet that Deck was hunting. And that was a twist I did not see coming, and it was also a really good twist. Unlike most other Baby Yodas in movies and TV shows, it gave this one a really good reason for being in the movie. And it was also pretty cool. I did like this. This is one of my favorite Baby Yoda-like characters to exist as of right now. Okay, now to the action. This probably got me the most excited because there was a bunch of kaiju fights in this movie. Some you can argue if it's kaiju or not, but it's pretty big, I'll call it kaiju. Like the whole, whatever that hard rhino thing in the razor blade glass field was, that was awesome. I mean, just Buddy, that's where Buddy was introduced and showing how indestructible he is with his skin. But it also showed the Predator jumping from tree to tree with Thea on his back, and him actually slicing the rhino thing in half with his sword, and then grabbing out the two different sides of the skull he cut in half, and holding them up like they do in the Predator movie, but he has two of them, like they're cut in half, and it's just, that was awesome. Also super gory without radar, because it's not human blood, but that was awesome. And then right after that, I believe it's the one with the, I forget what they called it. It was like a tree bug or something. That was actually like this big octopus in the trees. That was another awesome thing. And I mean, they're all awesome, but that's another kaiju scene. I am the king of the kaiju after all. Of course I'm gonna like the kaiju scenes. Also, the twist that Thea betrayed Deck at the... not at the end, but towards the end. That was really cool. I thought that was gonna be the ending of the film, and I was actually very disappointed with that, because there was no, like, character arc for Deck resolved. But it kept going after that, so I was happy with that. And the final battle, I already talked about how he had, like, the, Predator armor made out of nature. That was really cool. The walking pants thing I saw on Twitter, like here is 4 images that are spoilers for Badlands without spoiling Badlands, and I did see a pair of pants standing up on its own, and I did not think that was actually going to be in the movie, but it was, so it was pretty cool. But the actual ending, just showing that Deck was sad when his little plasma shooter animal guy died, just showed the character growth of him where he actually cares about other things besides himself. And then the whole fight at the end with Deck jumping on top of the mech trying to get to Thea's sister, I don't remember her name, who's also an android. And just trying to kill that android. And then he can't, and he relies on the big monster kaiju thing he was trying to kill in the beginning to kill it for him. And then that thing ends up eating the evil Thea. That was really cool, and I thought that was going to be the end of the movie. Happy ending, everyone dies. And then the evil Thea kills the unkillable beast from inside with the ice grenade thing that was introduced earlier in the movie. That was actually kind of heartbreaking. It showed the baby get sad when the mom died. That was pretty heartbreaking. But it did set up the 3 of them having a stitched together clan of their own. And then they go back to the home world. Deck kills his father, and then roll the credits. Amazing movie, woo! And then immediately there's a post-credit scene. They didn't even wait that long to show it, where a ship starts flying up behind them, and Thea goes, "Who's that?" And then Deck goes, "My mother." And oh boy, the people calling this woke are gonna get really mad if they make a sequel. Because in the Predator lore, before this, like long before this movie even came out, there were female predators that are bigger, stronger, and smarter than the male predators. That's how it's always been, but people are going to get mad about that regardless of how it's been in the past, which is great. But overall, this movie is a blast to watch. While there's, like, some things that may be a little unbelievable, who cares? It's fun, it's cool, it's awesome. And personally, I know I'm probably going to make a movie, not movie, I'm probably going to make a video towards probably on New Year's Day itself of me going over all the movies I've seen this year and ranking them like I did last year. But as of right now, this movie is my favorite movie that has came out this year. I didn't think it was going to top Superman. I absolutely loved Superman. But this movie is better than Superman, for me at least. I had a blast watching it. This was awesome. So overall, go watch this in theaters and buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever you can afford. This is definitely one of, if not, the best Predator movie ever made. Yep. That's about it, I guess.